Vitas Gerulaitis, who finished 1981 with a flurry of dramatic matches that successfully reached the top 10. Elliot Telcher, a fiery baseline player. He began grabbing headlines in 81 and is the 7th seed here. Roscoe Tanner, whose blistering serve makes him one of the most feared men in tennis. The final Volvo point standings have him number 6. Guillermo Vilas, one of the most beloved figures in his native Argentina. He went into 9 Grand Prix finals. He won 3. Jose Luis Clerc, in the summer of 81, he won 27 consecutive matches en route to 4 straight Volvo victories. He is the 4th seed. Jimmy Connors, appearing in the Masters for a record-tying 7th time. He won it in 77. This year, he's in the number 3 hole. John McEnroe, who says what's on his mind all the time, but on the court, he's number 1 in the world. Ivan Lendl, the top seed here at the Masters and the youngest. Late in 81, he won 5 Volvo events in succession. He says he wants this one. Upcoming tonight, USA leads off with a beauty. A heavyweight matchup that could feature a little bit of everything. John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors. And then in the second event, Vitas Gerulaitis and the late summer wonder boy, Jose Luis Clerc. Tonight's matches are brought to you by Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. By Mobil One, the oil that saves you gas and more. By Levi's Action Suit, the easy-to-wear, easy-to-care-for suit from Levi's Menswear. By Penn Athletic Products Company, Penn when you're serious about tennis. By Lipton Tea and Tennis, it's a winning combination. By the Transamerica Corporation, first-rate service at a fair price. And by General Tire, where you find quality, choice, and price. And hello, everyone. Welcome to big-time Grand Prix tennis here, the Masters at Madison Square Garden. You couldn't ask for a better setting for the very best, and you couldn't ask for better experts than what we have tonight. Hello, I'm Eddie Doucette, and with me the experts, former Davis Cup captain Donald Dell. To start it off with, and Donald, I think we've got a couple of dandies.
Well, we really do, Eddie. Tonight, the first match, McEnroe-Connors, will be a blood match because Jimmy Connors has won the last 2 in over 4.5 hours, each match 5 sets. McEnroe, who's favored in this tournament, number 1 in the world, does not want to go down 3 matches to 0 when he'd have to face Connors over the weekend in the semifinals.
Another fellow who's jumped over a few nets in his time and looks like he's in playing condition, Big Barry McKay. And Barry, I like what I see here tonight. Good lineup.
Should be a great match. Jimmy Connors, I think, has the best return of serve in the game, including John McEnroe. McEnroe's got the best serve, but I think we're in for a fantastic match, and I think these guys really are out to get each other, as we mentioned.
They've had head-to-heads before, and one of them came in November at Wembley. It was a beauty, and we're going to take you back a little bit and pick up some of the action on that one.
Now, in this match, Eddie, McEnroe is winning easily, 2 sets to love, and he goes into the first controversy here, 3-2 in the 3rd set. He starts yelling at and there Connors is mimicking McEnroe, really has a knack for getting under his skin. You see there, he's mimicking him like the linesman. Now Connors gets up. And you're going to see McEnroe bang the net here, and he gets a point penalty awarded against him. And that started the whole thing getting more and more as Jimmy Connors now calls John up to the net and says, look, let's play to the linesman. But remember what's happening here. McEnroe was way ahead, 2 sets to love. And as it went on, you saw Connors pull an Oscar there and win 3 straight sets and won the match and the title.
Neither one got that Oscar, although they were candidates. But I think that they had a replay of it this past Sunday in Chicago at the Horizon in Rosemont, and darn near did come away with a couple trophies.
Rosemont, Illinois. Here we go again. Connors and McEnroe, 4.5 hours. There's John ready to slam the ball right at Connors. Goes up to net, has a little chat. Jimmy's really not happy because he doesn't like the delays, and yet he's been known to do this in his older days or younger days. There they are, right eye to eye. You see almost some fisticuffs there. Here goes John, grabs his bag, heads off the court. Connors saying, come on, John, don't do that. He's gone anyway. Long delay, and they came back and finished the match. Very unusual to have players leave the court and come back and finish a match, Eddie.
You never know quite what to expect when these two hook up. You do know one thing, it's going to be exciting. I'd tell you to sit back, but I think you better move to the front edge of your chair because I believe it is going to be one of those kind of evenings. We're coming back. We're at the Big Apple, the Garden in New York, and we've got McEnroe and Connors. You can't beat that action. All coming your way right here on the USA Cable Network.
To be working with you again, and a very warm Happy New Year to all of you in Australia watching us live on National 9 Network's Wide World of Sports for this our first international tennis coverage of 1982. Well, here at Madison Square Garden in snowbound New York, it's the Volvo Grand Prix Masters. That's the climax to the 1981 tennis year, where the 8 points leaders from the 89 tournaments in 29 countries around the world meet to decide which of them by the end of the week will be crowned the master player for the year. Well, they play 3 days of round-robin matches in 2 four-man groups and then knockout semi-finals and final. In the blue group, young Ivan Lendl, the 22-year-old Czech, walked off with the $300,000 first prize, and with him in that group are the 2 Argentines, Jose Luis Clerc and Guillermo Vilas, and America's Vitas Gerulaitis. In the red group are the top 4 Americans, John McEnroe, Jimmy Connors, Roscoe Tanner and Elliot Telcher. And tonight we're bringing you live the star match from that red group, Jimmy Connors against John McEnroe. Well, since 1977, when they met at Wimbledon in the semi-final when McEnroe was a kid of 18, they've met 15 times. Connors leads 9-6, and just last week in Chicago they played a torrid 5-set match in an exhibition match, which Connors also won. With me as always, Fred Stolley. I think this, Fred, could be quite a torrid match too.
Well, I hope it does get to become a barnstormer, as we're all expecting here. They have had, I believe Connors has won the last 4 encounters, not in tournaments, in exhibitions like last week in Chicago, and I know he really wants this event. He has practiced very hard down at Turnberry Isle, my club down there, which is Jimmy Connors' home. We spent all the last couple of weeks prior to Chicago. He's in great shape. He wants this tournament. He wants to get back to be #1 in the world, and he feels now that he can beat John McEnroe. However, I'm going to go along with McEnroe. I've lost a bit of respect for John McEnroe in various areas. However, he's magic with a tennis racket. I think he wants to get back and show the New York crowd here that he is #1, and I've got to go with a McEnroe win in tonight's match.
Well, Fred, I don't think I can disagree with you there. I'm going with McEnroe too. Well, I see the players now are just about ready to walk onto court. It's time, therefore, for us to mount to the commentary box.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the second evening of the 1982 Volvo Masters is about to begin, and we'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the players competing in our first match of the evening. Introducing one of the game's all-time great performers. He has won the U.S. Open 3 times, Wimbledon once, the Australian Open once, the Masters once, the WCT Finals twice, and been ranked #1 in the U.S. 5 times. He was, in fact, #1 in the world for almost 5 consecutive years, 1974 through 79.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
In 1981, he won 3 Volvo Grand Prix titles in a row and enjoyed a
I'm standing out here and I'm wondering if are we going to worry about anything before the match?
What Ken Sly is the umpire.
From Madison Square Garden in New York, John McEnroe and Jimmy Connors in our first match here tonight. Donald?
You see here them warming up slowly here. John McEnroe, #1 player in the world, just selected by the AP as the #1 male athlete of the year. 5'11", 155 pounds, 23 years old next month. John Patrick McEnroe, the big left-handed server, wearing his United States Davis Cup jacket that he is so proud of. Greatest talent in the game today, and there you're seeing why. That big left-handed serve.
2 minutes.
Beat Roscoe Tanner 6'3", 6'2" to get here, and there's Jimmy Connors.
Jimmy Connors also left-handed. 5'10", 155 pounds. They both weigh the same. 29 years old, from Belleville, Illinois. Connors leads in the head-to-head matches 10-6 over McEnroe, and that's quite an accomplishment as a career average.
Who leads in the psychological matchup?
I think Connors does, Eddie. I think he's able to really needle John McEnroe and not let it bother him. Somehow it doesn't hurt his concentration, where he seems to get under the skin of McEnroe. And they're the head-to-head. They have 9-6 there, but that's not counting last week's win in Chicago, which now makes it 10-6. And you see, Connors started quickly in 77-78. Then McEnroe came back to win 79 and 80. Led 3-2. And there was that tremendous struggle we showed you at the beginning of our show with Connors winning 6-2 in the fifth, Wembley. And then in Chicago, Connors won again last Sunday evening. And Eddie Doucette, I think it's going to really be a tremendous struggle tonight because John McEnroe does not want to lose 3 times in a row to this guy. And there is umpire Ken Sly in the chair, well known from Alexandria, Virginia. And he'll have his hands full tonight, and I suspect he'll be fighting for his life about 20 minutes from now.
Yeah, I'm sure that he has some trepidations going into this one from the standpoint of making sure not making any wrong moves, because these fellows both very quick to make corrections.
And has elected to serve.
Barry McKay, of course, is courtside.
Quickly,
Barry,
please.
from where you are, anything that you've noticed as the fellas came on the court?
All the balls down to my right, please. Mr. McEnroe's in.
Well, guys, I'll tell you what. Jimmy Connors walked out here tonight, pours water on his racket handle, which is interesting. And as the crowd went wild, he looked up at me and said, well, it's going to be another crazy night. So that's Jimmy Connors' reaction to the start of this match.
Well, I think it will be, Barry, because as we said earlier, they really don't like each other.
Thank you very
And
much.
Connors believes he can win by needling McEnroe, getting his goat,
Mr. McEnroe to serve.
and trying to be the good guy on the court. McEnroe resents that bitterly. First point of the match.
Ready?
McEnroe to serve.
$100,000 to the winner of the whole package. We'll explain that as we go along. It's a round-robin double elimination. Winner of each set comes away with $30,000, but on their way to a possible $100,000.
15.
First point of the match, you see the strength of McEnroe, that big left-handed serve. Connors almost nailed it for a winner. That is his strength, the return of serve.
Really contrasting styles in that one big serve, the other return of serve. Interesting, Donald, because in Connors' match yesterday, in which he defeated Elliot Telcher, 85% of his first serves were in. Phenomenal.
And there you see one of the really good forehand volleys in the game as McEnroe closes quickly, catches the ball high and early. It's good.
Big return. 30-15.
15.
We're going to have a full house here tonight, 19,000 strong as they keep piling in. It's good again.
30-30. Jimmy Connors.
30 all.
Connors quoted as saying he didn't care what the money was, he just wanted to go out and play tennis. 30 all.
Connors did not play that ball. He thought it was out. He's looking at the chair umpire, Ken Sly, asking for an overrule. Linesman Lee Gould has not changed the call. And it will stand 40-30 to McEnroe. Connors worked his way in very nicely there, laid that ball down the line as he came in on the forehands. You know, Eddie, it's interesting. The crowd seems to be for Connors.
Yes, and there was some concern coming in from the McEnroe camp why he would not be able to control his own home territory, Douglastown, New York. He'd like to go one place where he was the favorite, but Jimmy Connors does have a big following here in New York.
There was the first serve. McEnroe was hoping was be called out. Connors nails it. And we have the first break point. And this is a big point so quickly in the match. Connors could get an early break here, Eddie. It's going to be a whole different match.
Back to deuce. Of course, if Connors were to beat McEnroe at his own game, which is the strong serve, it would really be a lift. We're trying to break him here in the very first game. Deuce.
And there is the trademark. Connors, two-handed backhand, steps in, knifes it down the line for a winner, right on the line. And we have another break point to Jimmy Connors. McEnroe will need a first serve here. Connors a little unlucky. He met the ball perfectly, but it hit the top of the net, gave McEnroe time to recover.
Deuce game.
They say sometimes it's better to be lucky than good because Connors hit that return perfectly.
And now the advantage to John McEnroe. John, who it was won $941,000 on the Volvo circuit in 1981. Connors at $395,872. Lots of money between these two fellas. So the first game goes to John McEnroe. And the #1 player in the world and the #3 player in the world are off to a good start.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Interesting that last point. The linesman on that baseline, Mike Dunn, ruled unsighted and didn't make the call, so the chair umpire called it out. And McEnroe held serve for a 1-love lead. But there is tremendous tension on that court so early in a match. There's McEnroe fixing his shoes. Notice his left thigh is taped up high. Evidently he's got a slightly pulled muscle they were talking about before the match. You never know. Connors has that grazed look in his eye, and here's their past record in Masters play. Jimmy Connors has played here. This is his 7th year. He won it in January of '78, and this is his match record, 14-9. So he's a veteran. There's Doug Henderson, Jimmy Connors' bodyguard in the background there. He's always with Jimmy.
You know, moments ago, Donald, we saw John McEnroe going through the histrionics with the shoes. He seems to have a habit here of tying his shoelaces. We'll get back to that.
There's McEnroe's record. He's played here 3 times, 7-5, and he won it in 1979, beating Arthur Ashe in 5 sets. In the finals, last major match Arthur Ashe played before his heart attack that year.
Ushers, I need your cooperation in holding the crowd and making the floor match much better. Thank you very much.
We won't forget about that idiosyncrasy. I want to talk about that a little later because that's one of the things that seems to make John McEnroe comfortable. Connors to serve.
Connors very content to stay on that baseline and move McEnroe around.
15 love.
It's interesting that he has that heavy artillery to do that because McEnroe normally will scamper into the net if he can, but Connors has the ability to keep the ball deep enough that McEnroe's got to stay on the baseline. That is the key, the depth of Connors' ground strokes.
30 love.
30 love. McEnroe already a little upset at himself. We watch him. Some effort there by Jimmy Connors. 40 love.
40 love.
Now watch Connors because he likes that forehand down the line to McEnroe's backhand. Look at that lunge. Tremendous reach. He flicks the ball into the open court. 40 love.
Game Connors.
Jimmy Connors, a winner, and the games are even at 1-all. So Connors off to a good start here. And John McEnroe, who just this week moved into a brand new apartment here in New York, batching it for real for the first time.
Good. And boy, you're seeing both players use the whole court. Connors had that high floater, but he didn't come in because he hit it softly. One all, first set. 15 love to the server. The man with the big left arm.
That stinks.
John tells you what he thinks of his first serve.
Editorializing.
And there is vintage Connors, the running forehand, cross court. Let's watch it again here now. McEnroe with the underslice. That ball short. Connors lunges and hits that topspin roll. McEnroe just watching as he can't believe it. Angle.
15 all.
Beautiful first serve, opens the court nicely.
30-15.
Let's watch McEnroe here in the ad court. Watch his left foot. See where he plants it. Times he can almost be foot fault. He's not there. He's way around. Connors in his crouch.
Connors did not appear to get it all, but McEnroe certainly did.
Service ace.
McEnroe.
Linesman Charlie Sullivan called that ball good, and McEnroe's hold for 2-1.
Okay, we will have an opportunity to send it away right here in the USA Cable Network. We'll allow you an opportunity to hear from your local systems, and we'll be back right after this. Tomorrow night on USA, you can catch all the excitement of indoor soccer as the Cleveland Force meet the fiery Baltimore Blast at the Civic Center in Baltimore on USA's continuing coverage of Friday night MISL soccer. These Eastern Division rivals are sure to provide some fireworks as the high-scoring Blast hope to eliminate the Force from the playoffs. Kickoff live on USA at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. That's fast-paced indoor soccer action tomorrow and every Friday on Friday night MISL soccer. Only the USA Cable Network. Very exciting sport, indoor soccer, and we're happy to be bringing it to you. John McEnroe leading 2-1. First game, Jimmy Connors with his turn.
Connors had 2 break points in the first game of this match, but he's on serve, trailing 1-2. In the ATP computer, Connors is number 3.
Are you ready now, sir? This guy ready for us to play?
And McEnroe is yelling at some photographer over there. Are you ready now? Can I play? Not sure what that's all about. Eddie, you said after 3 games, each player has hit 8 winners. 8 apiece.
Wow.
Pretty good tennis. Good depth, and Connors follows it in. McEnroe tried to half volley that ball, couldn't scoop it up.
Donnelly with 28 hits in that point. They kept playing to the backhand and finally found the flaw.
You know, Eddie, this is a perfect court for indoor play. It's a Slow carpet, medium bounced. Both players can stay back or a server can come in. It's a good test. Of course, the conditions are perfect. No wind, no sun, no rain.
It's an ideal situation for such an event, the Masters. .40-15, Jimmy Connors.
Surprising that Connors is getting away with that second serve. McEnroe's not hurting him at all on that ball. I think he'd attack it a little bit. Perfect play.
Outstanding. Jimmy Connors. It appears that the man that can break a service here is going to be the man that's to be contended with.
Let's watch here the touch of Connors. McEnroe scoops it up. Now watch Connors. Guesses right. Plays the lob volley over McEnroe's head. McEnroe makes a dive, but bounces it into the net. Lets the ball drop too low. And there's the American Davis Cup captain, Arthur Robert Ashe Jr. from Richmond, Virginia, looking very studious. Arthur's had both these players, Connors and McEnroe, on his Davis Cup team, and he's enjoying the tennis. Foot fault called by Mike Dunn on the baseline. That'll make McEnroe less than happy. Liza Minnelli. Now John McEnroe is over giving Mike Dunn the baselines with a piece of his mind. Second serve.
15 love.
Hall of Famer Henry Aaron is in the crowd tonight, too. Our congratulations to he and Frank Robinson. 15 love.
Crowd now getting into this match a little bit, Eddie. They're yelling to both players. I think McEnroe is trying to constrain himself because he knows if he gets into the annex with Connors, two things happens. One, the crowd will turn more against him. And secondly, Connors loves it.
McEnroe moving to the net, and Connors not quite able to get it back.
Watch the second serve. He slices to the backhand. Comes in, backs it up nicely with that little forehand volley. Connors can't reach it.
McEnroe, who won 8 Grand Prix tournaments in 1981. McEnroe with a win and now leads 3 games to 2. And we will return to Madison Square Garden for our Masters Tennis on the USA Cable Network in just a minute.
You can see the display in the mall as you enter or leave Madison Square Garden. And you can register at all ballot boxes on all promenades, and you may be the winner. So do register. You could end up with a Volvo powered Well-Craft Freedom 61 boat. Thank you.
Can I talk to you right now, Gordon? Okay, I can hear you, but it's just the noise level is unbelievable. I mean, I'm getting huge crowd noise, so I can barely hear the commentary. Nothing really. I mean, there's nothing to come to right now. Okay.
Seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Please resume. Quiet, please.
Betty Doucette and Donald Dell with Barry McKay, the Masters.
Love 15.
Point goes to John McEnroe.
Great rally by both players. And Connors a little out of breath there because McEnroe moved him around side to side, and now he's down love 30 and winded.
Well, even though Jimmy Connors beat Elliot Telcher in straight sets yesterday, he claimed that he got a fine workout preparation for this one tonight. But he's going to get a run here for sure.
First chance for McEnroe on Connors serve, love 30. Let's see if he attacks the second serve, if he gets it. It's good. Right on the line.
Close enough to swing at it, as we say, and Connors a little upset.
It's going to be a lot more upset in a minute. Triple break point to McEnroe, love 40.
Game, McEnroe.
So McEnroe breaks Connors at love and now leads 4-2. 4 games to 2.
First break of the match. McEnroe draws blood.
McEnroe stoical. Connors a little bit upset.
Perfect play by Connors, catching that high floater early. Now you're going to see Connors here using the whole court. McEnroe with that topspin backhand. Connors drills this down the line. McEnroe steps slow, pops it up short. Look at Connors catching it on the fly. Flicks it for a winner. That's his best play. Love 15. Fault called now. Connors is a second serve to face. Should get aggressive. Both called good. And that forehand lob is about 6 feet long.
15 all.
Forehand to forehand, and McEnroe going over and telling the linesperson that he may have missed one.
Ladies and gentlemen, as a courtesy,
did you see that one, Donald?
If we could refrain from
I thought the ball was good, but McEnroe obviously did not. It's 15 all. Interesting tonight, though, Eddie, we're using all the linesmen on all the lines. They're not going with 5. They're going with the full complement of linesmen, which I think is a move in the right direction by tournament director Ray Benton. McEnroe screaming now at that call. I think he just gets nervous.
Of course, they play him out. It's close. You don't want to take a chance. Argue later. Wow. A couple of shots if he had something on.
McEnroe served that ball right at Connors. Caught him off guard, and he popped it up.
Big serve.
Another great save, but a better overhead.
By John McEnroe. McEnroe now leads 5-2.
McEnroe leads 5 games to 2.
Barry McKay is courtside.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is...
Barry, of course, is a fellow that knows a little bit about this game, and with Barry would be Arthur Ashe, another fellow that knows a little bit about tennis.
This game, and the court's very slow.
It is a lot slower than the normal Supreme Court,
Yes,
Arthur?
it is. Very slow. Very
Okay,
slow.
how about 1982 Davis Cup tennis? What's your feeling on what's coming up this year?
Well, we have to play quite a few of our matches away. We play the first one home, but after that, it depends on who wins and whether we win also. But we look forward to winning again.
All right, Arthur, thanks for being with us. Back to you guys.
Okay, thank you, Barry McKay, Arthur Ashe, and a 5-2 lead at this point with John McEnroe on top. He's won 3 games in a row, and Connors now with a must in order to stay alive in this set.
2-5. Jimmy Connors holds up the new balls as a courtesy to tell McEnroe. And Eddie, you know, he wouldn't want to lose this first game here, because then McEnroe could start the second set with his own serve. That'd be an advantage. Slight edge. So John will try to crowd him here. Get a second break.
A round-robin event. Double elimination.
Second serve.
Connors to this point has been getting 71% of his first serves in. McEnroe 60%.
Linesperson Lee Gold made that call, loud and clear, out. McEnroe now kibitzing 4 or 5 people in the crowd.
Fifteen all.
First set here, Eddie, because McEnroe is showing Connors that he can stay back. And there you see the first serve percentage. McEnroe only 60%, Connors 71%. That's pretty high. But Jimmy Connors is still trailing 2-5 first set. Look at that shot. What an angle off the topspin backhand cross court. we're seeing a much more patient John McEnroe. Very patient from that baseline. Here comes Connors. Now watch this shot. Perfect looping, dipping, angled ball. Can't possibly get that shot. Eddie, perfect winner.
Outstanding.
It's good.
Jono, from where we are in our camera angles here, it looks like that ball's really moving. It looks like both these fellas have something.
Now Connors is asking for an overrule. We couldn't hear what he's saying, but Connors can talk all he likes. He's down 15-40, 2 break points and 2 set points.
Maybe we can find out a little later from Barry McKay what that was all about.
And McEnroe has the first set.
6-2.
Comfortably 6-2 with 2 service breaks. But he now has a big edge to start this set with his own serve.
4 straight games for John McEnroe. Perhaps we can find Barry McKay and find out if we have an idea about what was going on down there when Connors was over there talking to the chair umpire.
Don't think Barry can hear us, Eddie. It's right in the thick of that crowd. The tremendous roar when Connors lost the set. McEnroe to serve. First point, second set.
15 love.
That's tremendous.
15 all.
15 all here. First game, second set. McEnroe wins the first one, 6-2.
It's good. McEnroe hooked that ball around the line. Connors thought it would go wide. It dipped in.
30-15.
You see the great left arm here of McEnroe. Connors is in position, knifes the volley. It's a little short. Look at John McEnroe. The ball outside the line, but watch where it hits. Inside the line. That's the left-handed topspin hook of the best player in the game. 30-15. Except for the first game of the match, Connors has not had a play on breaking McEnroe's serve.
Out. 40-15.
40-15, John McEnroe.
It's interesting, Eddie. McEnroe's showing Connors here that he can stay on the baseline and rally with him if need be and still get into the net, work his way in. And he's been winning most of the baseline exchanges so far in this match.
Strong serve of McEnroe. Tough to deal with. McEnroe, who spends a lot of time talking to himself. I suppose he would have to say he's his own biggest critic. At least one of them.
His biggest fan and his biggest critic, both. 40-30. Connors wants to get to deuce.
Game, McEnroe.
McEnroe made a great first serve. Connors made a great save. But McEnroe won the exchange and leads 1-love.
And we will pause now for a message from your local system on the USA Cable Network. For you college basketball fans who just can't seem to get enough, we've got the ideal Saturday for you this week on USA. Starting at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific time, 2 great ACC matchups as the Clemson Tigers tackle the Maryland Terps. And then the top-rated Tar Heels of North Carolina visit the Duke Blue Devils. Our big day continues with Big Ten action as the Hoosiers of Indiana host the Buckeyes of Ohio State. And to cap it all off, Arizona and UCLA live from the Pauley Pavilion. It's all coming your way this Saturday right here on the USA Cable Network. Madison Square Garden. And this is Volvo Masters Tennis.
That was called by the linesperson Lee Gould, and she corrected herself immediately. Connors furious, and they'll play a let. She did the right thing. Called the ball a little before it hit, guessing, and then changed her call as it landed on the line.
Right at him that time. Connors had something on that one. Seems like this fella's been around a lot longer than his age, 29 years. So we've followed the travels and lifestyle of Jimmy Connors.
A lot of tennis mileage in those 29 years and great results. Dominated men's tennis throughout the 70s.
Reaction of the #1 player in the world, John McEnroe. 30-love, Jimmy Connors. Close. Connors is going to have something to say now. It was close, Donald, no question.
Well, Connors is arguing with umpire Ken Sly. There's no linesperson on that line. It's all the way down the line. Fell at the other side. Parker is making that call. He made it down the full length of the line. Connors is calling for Dick Robertson, the Grand Prix supervisor, coming out here now. Connors furious over the call.
The Lions person that made the call is even further away than Jimmy Connors, the man that delivered the ball.
Dick Robertson on the right there to Connors is explaining.
Let's don't make a signal. Let's make it verbal so I don't have to piss my pants right now.
Let's see this rally again here. The linesperson is straight down the line there. There's the call. Now he doesn't make a call, but he's going to move his hand wide. There's the out sign with his hand, and Connors is objecting to it not being vocal. Great play by McEnroe as he keeps the pressure on. He gets a short ball. He's coming in.
30 all.
And McEnroe is teaching Connors a lesson on how to play from the baseline with the topspin. Very patient.
John McEnroe with 2 service breaks in the first set. Leading 1-love here in the second.
Trying to attack on that high floater. Let it bounce, and it jumps up high, and he misses it.
We have a break point coming up.
He didn't like that bounce at all, mistimed it. And he's in real trouble here, because if he loses this point, he's down 2-love, second set. Very big point for Connors.
You open your mouth one time and then everybody looks at you.
McEnroe has won another as he breaks service for the 3rd time and now leads the second set 2-love.
And the pressure is really shifting to Connors' shoulders now. He knows he must break back quickly, or this match is history. McEnroe, one of the game's great servers, is always confident when he has that early service break, as he does now at 2-love.
Love. McEnroe, who has won 6 games in a row, trying to make it 7 as he's cruising now. But how quickly things can turn around. One little break and you can get on a run that could do some big damage.
Ball.
1st double fault for McEnroe. 15 all. Connors trying to goose himself up here, get a couple returns back. Good first serve. Crossed up Jimmy. Jimmy thought he'd go to the forehand side down the middle. That is why McEnroe's serve is so effective. The left-hander can spin it out wide in that deuce court. Highly unusual for a left-hander. Normally it's a slice. He hooks you, as he can do right here in the ad court. Again, McEnroe goes down the middle instead.
Mixing his shots up very well, Donald.
Well, he disguises the first serve as well as anyone in tennis. It's hard to read. let Connors down there, and he's in trouble. McEnroe is being ever so patient, taking his time.
McEnroe with a chance to win another game right here.
Absolute packed house, 19,700 people. They're a little bit hushed. They want Connors to get back in it. Kind of stunned at the ease with which McEnroe is dominating.
McEnroe, who's leading after winning the first set, is again editorializing about his play. I don't know how much more he wants, Donald Dell. He seems to be playing very well.
He misses one ball and he yells, "That's disgusting." Average tennis fan would give his right arm to miss a ball like that. McEnroe, the perfectionist. 40-30. Ace.
Game, McEnroe
wins another.
He leads 3 games to love.
And now McEnroe leads it 3 games to love. And while we have this opportunity, we'll tell you that we're at the Volvo Masters at Madison Square Garden in New York. And it's coming your way on the USA Cable Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest names in sports is coming. One of the greatest tournaments in tennis. Spalding, the in tennis. Spalding, the
Okay, Dennis Maruk. From Madison Square Garden in New York City, Eddie Doucette, Donald Dell, Barry McKay, the Volvo Masters.
Connors must make his stand right here, Eddie. We should explain that this is a round-robin competition. The first 3 days, 8 players who finished the most points year-round are split into 2 groups, the red group and the blue group. Jimmy Connors and McEnroe are in the red group. And McEnroe can make the semis by winning this match. Great save by Connors, and the crowd erupts.
And a couple of those, and Connors will get pumped up trying to get back in this one. He's lost 7 games in a row.
30, love.
Now he crosses him up, comes in cross court. Connors off balance, pokes that volley deep into the corner.
Quiet, please.
And saves it with a hook volley. Good anticipation by Jimmy Connors. 30 love. I don't believe it. A drop shot winner, and Connors gets back on the board here in the second set. But he trails 3-1, and he must break serve here in the next couple of times. This match is over.
McEnroe leads 3-1, second set.
We should explain that in the red group is Jimmy Connors, John McEnroe, Elliot Telcher, and Roscoe Tanner. In the blue group, Guillermo Vilas, Ivan Lendl, Vitas Gerulaitis, and Jose Luis Clerc. The best 2 results with the most wins go into the semifinals on Saturday and Sunday. McEnroe wins this match, he'll be 2-0 and into the semifinals.
15 love.
Connors would have to win tomorrow night to stay alive. So in effect, Eddie, it's a double elimination.
John McEnroe, 15 love. And leading 3-1. McEnroe with 2 aces so far in the match.
That's a perfect rally. Now McEnroe is tying his shoelaces, a little angry, but watch this play. Connors
15 all.
Opens the court nicely, good depth, stays back. That's a surprise. Here he comes, and that's normally a winner right there. And McEnroe couldn't quite handle it. Tremendous depth off that approach shot. Crowd now screaming for Connors to break serve.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Outstanding shots here by Jimmy Connors.
Oh.
Close, but not quite. And now it's 30-15. Donald, we talked a little bit about the fact that John McEnroe had lost it. Now we have
wait a minute, Eddie. I didn't hear that. I think he warned him. The referee, Ken Sly, I think gave McEnroe a warning.
Second serve.
There's Ken Sly in the chair from Alexandria.
Just a warning, still 30-15. I was saying, we talked about the fact that McEnroe had lost a lot of weight last year. Can you see the difference in his game?
Well, he's a lot quicker. He's lost about 15, 17 pounds down to 155. But he is giving Connors a lesson on backcourt play tonight. Very patient. Great exchanges. And not making any errors. He still isn't coming in on his first serve much. Here he comes. The serve was so good he didn't need to hit a volley.
So McEnroe now leads the second set after winning the first 4-1. We'll pause now for a message from your local system. Two leads the second 4-1. And there is no time like now for Jimmy Connors. It's getting into that must situation.
It sure is, Eddie, because if John McEnroe can hold serve twice running, the match is over. Nobody knows that better than Connors. Connors serving 1-4, but only one service break behind. Interesting how patient McEnroe has appeared tonight. Very deliberate. Although his left thigh is heavily bandaged, he's moved very well. Perfect lob.
Is McEnroe that much better when he controls his emotions, or doesn't it make a difference?
Well, John thinks it doesn't bother him. I think he's much stronger when he doesn't get mad, because the other players are hoping he'll explode, hoping he'll get mad at a linesman. There'll be controversy. McEnroe, the greatest talent playing the sport right now, is trying to grow up.
McEnroe won 7 games in a row before Connors came back. 4th game of the second set.
$30-15.
30-15. Jimmy Connors trailing at 1-4 here in the second set. Must rally right now.
That's what the public can't understand, why McEnroe would get angry there. He's totally in command of this match. And he got mad at something over there and went over like he was going to break his racket against the side post. 30-15. Connors trails 1-4. He's down a set. Only thing that'll let him in this match will be McEnroe's temperament.
$40-15.
Jimmy Connors trying to get some breathing room, or at least an opportunity to prolong. And right now he leads this one 40-15. Close. McEnroe checking it out. Coming your way on the USA Cable Network.
Deuce. Forehand gets him in trouble as it floats over the baseline. The one weakness Connors has is that forehand where he underspins it, underslices it, kind of shovels it. We're at deuce. The match an hour and 16 minutes old. And McEnroe in control.
Advantage Connors.
So the advantage swings over to Jimmy Connors. McEnroe getting down on himself again.
Game Connors.
Connors holds, but still trails 2-4 in the second set. And this is the best chance for Connors right here to break serve. It's much tougher when McEnroe's serving for the match, more pressure on the receiver. So his best play will be right here at 4-2.
Donald, again, we can remind our viewers about when they change balls.
Please.
Every 7 and 9 games throughout the match. First 7, then 9. Ball's a little lighter when they're new. Favor the server.
That's all this guy needs, right?
He doesn't need any help. It's good. It is good.
Love 15.
See the point again. McEnroe, the voice you're hearing is berating. There's the ball hits Eddie on the left of your screen. McEnroe lets you know what he thinks of the call, and Lee Gould has called it good. Now, this is what John doesn't understand. When he starts berating that linesperson there, the crowd really turns on him. And he doesn't understand why he's not popular. He ought to just watch this tape.
It's too bad we can't get him one.
Quiet, please.
Love 15.
Comes down the middle with one, trying to cross up Jimmy, but it's a fault. And serving more to the middle.
All.
15 all now. Jimmy Connors needing a service break.
Needing it desperately to stay alive. Had that high forehand floater.
Connors lost the first set, 2-6. Trailing here, 2-4. McEnroe serving. McEnroe in the middle of that rally there, looking to the line judge for help instead of concentrating on the match.
And McEnroe's been warned now once by the chair umpire, which means the next time he loses the point, there's no more warnings. So if he keeps this up, he could lose a very big point here at 15-30 and suddenly have it 15-40.
How many warnings can they give you?
There's only one, which is one too many when you're dealing with these pros.
Correct.
Be no warning
Quiet,
system,
please.
right to the penalty. Barry McKay down at courtside. Can you tell us what he said?
Well, just quickly, he said, that's 2 in a row, that's 2 in a row. He says, she's got to go. And then what's interesting is the clock's wound down twice here to 30 seconds. The umpire hasn't done a thing.
And again,
what does that mean?
there are 30 seconds between each point. Connors and McEnroe are supposed to play within 30 seconds. And when they get into these disputes, it goes well beyond the 30-second rule. The umpire's not enforcing it, evidently. Connors earned that point nicely. And now he's got McEnroe really where he wants him.
15-40.
15-40, double break point, and mad as can be. This is the exact replica of the last 2 times they've played, Eddie, where McEnroe was ahead 2 sets to love in London. He's ahead 2 sets to 1 in Chicago. And he gets upset and doesn't concentrate. Double break point.
Connors looking for his first service break of the match.
Listen to this crowd if he gets it. I've never heard this. The crowd is cheering the fault, which is very rude. Unusual.
He got it.
Connors nails that ball down the line. He has the break, and the crowd is on their feet. And so, Jimmy Connors is back in this match. Eddie Doucette.
Interesting, because the one-time alleged bad boy has given up his seat. Is Jimmy Connors now looking at John McEnroe, who owns the throne. McEnroe, having had the advantage of a 3-service break so far, now gives up one. And Connors coming back with the one he had to have in order to stay in the running here, trailing 3-4. 3 games to 4 here in the second set. Jimmy lost the first set 2-6. And now with a big effort here, trying to come back. And we'll go to Barry McKay, who has a special guest.
I'm with Alberto Salazar here, who's won the New York Marathon for 2 years. Alberto, any similarities between long-distance running and tennis?
Yeah, I think the concentration that's there. I can see them. They try and keep their concentration on the game. Whenever they get rattled, you see them start to lose points.
What do you think about this match out here tonight? Who are you rooting for?
I guess for Connors, because he's the underdog. Although I really don't have any favorites between the two in terms of personality or anything. I think they're both great athletes.
You know, tennis players, I think, do a lot of quick starting, but they aren't really what you'd call long-distance people. How often do you train, Alberto?
I train twice a day, 7 days a week.
How much are you running each day?
Usually about 17 or 18 miles.
Good luck next year, huh?
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alberto. Back to you, Donald.
Barry, I'd like to ask Barry McKay if he gets a moment to go down and ask Dick Roberson, the Grand Prix supervisor, and maybe send Herb Swan down there. Why aren't they enforcing that 30-second rule?
We'll get on it, Donald.
Quiet, please.
Jimmy Connors. He will serve to John McEnroe.
Connors pointing to a linesman. I don't know whether it's the center linesman or the side linesman. The players have become officials now. They're officiating as well as playing, which is a mistake. And the sport should get control of itself.
Now, how
the inmates are running the asylum.
How can they control that, though?
By having a strong guy in the chair. Just throw a few of them out and you'll see them all change. Jimmy Connors has worked his way back in here now. 15 love.
15 all.
Connors is ranked #1 consecutively on that ATP computer in July of '74 to July of '79. Quite a run. He could win this match here. It'd be a great start for E2 to get back on #1.
I think privately he's talked a lot about that, trying to regain his lofty position.
$15-30.
15-30 now. Jimmy Connors. He's upset.
Let's watch this point again. Connors from the baseline. McEnroe stays back with the underspin. Connors right there. That ball's called long.
$15-30.
For serve.
Connors made a good play there. He came in on that first serve. He hadn't done that in about 6 games.
30 all.
McEnroe was not ready for that. 30 all. Connors trying to scramble up the slippery ladder to 4 all.
Connors trying to win his 3rd game here in the 2nd set in succession.
Oh.
30-40 now. Time running out for Jimmy Connors. Has to make some big points now.
Let's watch how John McEnroe plays this return. He can climb all over Connors if he breaks here. 3-4, add out.
Hold it. I can't believe this guy just gets up in the middle of the serve.
Somebody has moved behind Connors.
In case you missed it, John said, I can't believe this guy just stepped up in the middle of the serve. And we are at deuce.
Deuce.
McEnroe trying to compose himself. Get the feeling he wants to put this one under glass early. Advantage to Jimmy Connors. And my, how much time he took to set up the serve. Almost like he was playing a little game there with John McEnroe.
Well, he does that, Eddie. He tries to bother the receiver a little bit, takes a lot of time, looks up, sees and checks whether you're ready, and maybe takes a little more time as he bounces that ball. He's been known to bounce it 18 times there before he serves. Good serve. And Connors has held serve now for 4 games all.
Big return here by Jimmy Connors in the 2nd set. And he's come up with a couple of big serves and now has moved into a position where Connors is watching McEnroe go through a little tantrum. You suppose that what you referred to before has entered the mind of John McEnroe, the fact that this is where he lost it once before?
The only way he's going to lose it was to let Connors get into the match, which he's managed to do. Now that center service linesman went up there to talk to Ken Sly at the chair. He's walking back, which is the reason for the delay here. I don't know whether McEnroe and he had words or what.
Mr. McEnroe serve new balls.
New balls. McEnroe holds them up. It's 4 games all.
McEnroe jumps out here, 15 love. Jose Luis Clerc and Vitas Gerulaitis will follow this one in our Volvo Masters from Madison Square Garden.
something's really bothering McEnroe. He's coming over to talk it over here with the chair umpire.
That's his second double fault, Don. McEnroe.
The linesman evidently that walked over there, Mr. Sullivan, was complaining to the chair umpire, Ken Sly, that McEnroe had kicked the stand around his chair into his knees. McKay?
It's basically just telling the umpire to try and control the crowd, which is virtually impossible.
Yeah. It's like trying to tell the animals to stop barking. This place is electric. They want Connors to win this set and even the count.
It's an absolutely beautiful setting for this kind of a match, Donald Dill, with McEnroe and Connors in Madison Square Garden, New York, and jammed to the rafters.
Now, the crowd is cheering McEnroe's fault, but there's nothing the chair umpire can do about it. Connors had that second serve, and he missed the return. Barry McKay quickly.
Yeah, Donald, it's really cute. John's saying to the umpire, now ask them, to be quiet. Here we go. Same thing. Ask them. He says, why not? He's saying, why can't you ask them to be quiet?
Say please, John.
Now, McEnroe's just baiting that chair umpire. I don't know why he does that.
Time delay, point penalty. Correction, warning. Time delay, warning.
Time delay, warning. Well, there's that 30-second rule we talked about, Barry McKay. They just warned McEnroe for delay, not for conduct, but for delay of the match.
Quiet, please.
We got to keep score on the warnings.
I don't believe this.
I think we've got 3 different warnings on different interpretations here. That ought to be one warning, and then they go right to the point penalty.
Can you imagine a linesman punching you in the face and getting a warning?
Yeah. At least give him 15 yards.
Second serve. Connors missed that low forehand. He stumbled for it. Didn't get under the ball.
McEnroe leads at 40-15. 4-all, second set. McEnroe a winner in the first set, 6-2.
Ingredients are all here, Eddie, for a explosion in that third set if Connors can ever get to a third set.
Correction, game, McEnroe.
So McEnroe wins the game, now leads 5-4 here in the second set. And we will remind you that we are in New York at the Garden, and it's Volvo Masters Tennis on the USA Cable Network.
And you can register at all. Volvo powered, level class 360-point motor. It's a very expensive motor, and it can be yours free. Maybe you can be yours free. You can ask. Thank you.
All right, well, the explanation very quickly on the delay is that there's so much crowd reaction in here tonight. Dick Roberson has said the 30-second clock doesn't apply. He's just playing it by ear. Very interesting ruling. Back to you, Donald.
I don't know how he does that, Barry. You got a good point. He's just totally ignoring the rules, I guess, because of the crowd
conditions, but that is unusual.
Many of the rule books have a little clause in there that says the elastic power of the officials. That almost indicates they can do or say anything they want to when they want to.
All right, Connors at 4-5. Must hold or the match is over. And he misses that high floater as it let it drop.
Love 15.
Connors trying to come back from being down love 3 here in the second set. Tied it at 4-all and has gone down 4-5. The 19th unforced error of the match.
By Jimmy Connors.
Correct.
It's wide.
15-all.
That's a lot of unforced errors, Eddie. 19.
It really is. Barry McKay.
Yeah. Dick Roberson just quoted down there, said, hey, listen, this crowd, you try and control them, they go out to LaGuardia and boo bad landings. Pretty good comment from the official referee.
Has a sense of humor. 15-all.
I'm nervous about those bad landings, Barry. I don't think that's so funny these days. 15-all. It's wide. So Jimmy Connors hanging in there.
30-15.
It's funny, I think McEnroe is compulsive. He's yelling at a sidelinesman now who had nothing to do with that rally. I just think he wants to have somebody to activate his emotions.
I think we ought to fix him up with a psychologist and maybe have some interesting conversations. Compulsive is a good word.
30-15. That ball right on the line, called good, 40-15.
McEnroe playing, he was completely stoical. You have to wonder what kind of a reaction. I think the crowd more or less expects it. They like it. They want it.
Oh, they like all the annex. They like the controversy, and they egg him on. But I think it hurts his play.
Connors has won 3 of the last 4 games here in this set. And he wins this one. And they move to 5-all in the second set of the Volvo Masters Tennis from Madison Square Garden in New York. The top 8 people on the Volvo Grand Prix circuit on points are competing, with the exception of Bjorn Borg, and he has opted not to be here.
Well, Borg decided on December 1st he was going to take 5 months off and not play till the end of April. Had nothing to do with the Masters. He had just felt he needed a rest from tennis, and that's what he's done. So Borg, who would have finished 2nd or 3rd in the Grand Prix, is not here, but everybody else in world tennis is. And you're seeing 2 of the best tonight on USA Cable Network. John McEnroe, #1 in the world. Jimmy Connors, #3.
McEnroe, 15 love.
Ivan Lendl is currently ranked #2 in the world, and he won the point standings of the Volvo Grand Prix.
McEnroe's had 2 double faults so far in the match.
Fantastic point by Connors. Hitting with both feet leaving the ground. He really attacked the ball. Now watch this. Connors hitting harder and harder in this rally. Here's a short ball. Comes in. Good depth. Lunges at the volley and nails it for a winner.
all.
Fault called.
McEnroe. Connors thought he had a setup. 30-15 for that man. McEnroe trading comments with the crowd.
The let cord helps Connors, and they're 30-all. That ball skidded off the top of the net. Connors
30-all.
Was not counting on that. McEnroe misjudged the half volley.
McEnroe is a magnificent player. Like him or not for his antics, he is truly a master and deserving of the title of this event, the Volvo Masters, at Madison Square Garden in New York. McEnroe. He wins the game. He leads the set 6-5. And we're coming your way from the Big Apple, Madison Square Garden. And we will return after this on the USA Cable Network.
Just don't choke, Barry.
A large canary talking to a beautiful hummingbird. Barry McKay, all yours.
All right, Eddie. Liza Minnelli, are you enjoying this match, Liza, and who are you pulling for?
Well, I'm not going to tell who I'm pulling for because I don't think it's for him, but I think it's a wonderful match. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Play any tennis, Liza?
Yes.
Whereabouts? Out in California?
No, we play up in, Long Island or something, but we just weekend tennis, nothing like this. My goodness.
You're not giving us your favorite then, okay? You're going to keep that a secret?
Well, I've been friends with Jimmy for a long time, and that's all I'm going to say.
Thanks, Liza. Back to you, Ed.
Okay, Barry, I was hoping you'd get her to sing a couple bars for us. Liza Minnelli, magnificent talent. This one here matching two magnificent talents. Jimmy Connors down 5-6 in the second set. Lost the first one 2-6. McEnroe, incidentally, with 24 winners. Connors 17 for the match. McEnroe with 21 unforced errors. Connors 28 for the match.
Connors now in trouble. 3 points from match. Love 15. He trails 5-6, a set down. This point awfully important.
Remind you again that this is double elimination. So should Jimmy Connors or McEnroe get knocked off tonight, they'll get another run at it.
Love 30. 5-6.
The winner of the whole package, $100,000.
Big break for McEnroe. Takes him to love 40, triple match point.
Match on the line, right here.
Connors saves one.
15-40.
Good looping, low forehand pass. I have a feeling John McEnroe will end up at the net again this point, if he can. Unless Connors crosses him up by serving and coming in. McEnroe splinters that ball down the line. Suddenly the match ends.
Boy, I'm telling you, outstanding tennis. McEnroe with 4 service breaks sandwiched around a couple of aces, and he comes away with a straight set win. 6-2, 7-5. John McEnroe, he moves on with another notch in his belt. Connors not eliminated. Remember, double elimination here at the Volvo Masters at Madison Square Garden. Barry McKay is courtside, and Barry is going to have a chance to chat. So, Barry, all yours.
All right, Eddie. John, great match. I know you were really on edge tonight going into this. You've lost twice to Jimmy in the last couple of weeks. How'd you feel at the start of the match?
I felt nervous, but I think I played pretty well after the first couple of games. I got upset at a call at 4-2. I've had a lot of problems with that umpire in the past. I think when they're aware of that fact, they shouldn't have the lady on the chair. And whoever it may be, if you have problems, because you want to try to present as few problems as possible on the court. And I think it's unfortunate to happen because I have this feeling that she's going to make bad calls, and whether or not it's right or wrong, I have the feeling, and that's why they shouldn't have the lady on the court. But I think that I overall played well, except for a couple of games where I lost my concentration.
John, you looked to me tonight like you stayed in the backcourt an awful lot. Didn't you stay back more than you usually do against Jimmy Connors?
Well, I came in a lot at the end in the other 2 matches, the one in London in November and in the last week, and he passed me a lot, and I figured that I wasn't going to rush things too much. This court's very slow, and I figured if I just waited for my opportunity and then came in, it'd be a lot better. Unfortunately, I served pretty well tonight, so that really helped.
You haven't won this event since 2 years ago, actually, and played Arthur Ashe in that final. How do you feel coming into this thing now, John? You're in the semifinal. You think you can go all the way?
Well, I'm glad to be in the semis. I didn't win a match last year, so I'm going to give it my best shot, and hopefully I'll keep on improving because I've played a little bit better each match, and I feel that I'm getting a little more match tough.
You stay in the city last night? You're not doing any commuting, are you?
Well, no, the snow, I had a little problem with that, and I just stayed in my apartment, and it's nice to get away from everything, and it's tough to be, there's so much happening in New York that you don't really know what to do, but as far as this tournament's going on, I'm just going to take it easy.
All right, John, good luck. See you tomorrow. Back to you, Donald.
Thank you, Barry McKay. It's a tough job down there when the guy has just finished playing a good match, and you do a great job with John McEnroe.
6-2, 7-5. McEnroe winner from Madison Square Garden on the USA Cable Network.
you've been on the tour a long while now. What's your opinion of what's going on out here in terms of officiating?
Well, that match actually kind of depressed me a little bit because I think really it started out totally under control and everything was calm, and I really think that the attitude of the match changed a lot when he gave him that warning, which I really thought was for no particular reason, because
the ball that he hit out here out of bounds, so to speak?
It wasn't even out of bounds, though, Barry. You know, it's landed on the court. The ball boy caught it, and it didn't endanger him. He certainly didn't hit it hard. I mean, that's I don't know. I think you've got to allow for some sort of expression of someone's temper. Otherwise, you're going to have robots walking around. And I think that I also think that a lot of the problems with the court conduct that we're having now is the fact that they've got this overrule rule, right, where
the umpire overruling a linesman's call, in other words.
I've spoken with a lot of Australian players who say, like Roy Emerson, came complaining to me one day, saying, you know, this is what's going on in the game today. I mean, when I played, everything was, everyone went into the bars afterward and had a drink, and it just seemed like there's so much complaining going on now. And I think he's right. Really, the rules reward players for complaining. In other words, if someone thinks that the ball, there's a bad call, and he goes up and complains to the umpire, there's a decent chance that the umpire is going to overrule and change it. Okay, so that leaves a player like whoever, John Alexander, Phil Dent, these guys were the ones complaining, and it leaves guys like those who don't complain. They're at a disadvantage, and so basically it rewards players for complaining.
So, Peter, are you saying that you don't think the umpire should have the power to overrule the linespeople's calls? Is that really what you're saying?
Absolutely, because I think that really the conduct, the on-court conduct, really started to decline when they put in that rule. I don't think people realize that the rules reward someone for complaining and bitching about calls, and I just don't think that's the way it should be.
All right, Peter, how about the doubles? You and John going to wrap this one up too? You've won a lot of tournaments this year.
Well, I hope so. I feel like I'm playing a little bit better, and obviously John can't play much better. So I think that we certainly have a good chance. I'm hoping that we'll be able to take care of it.
All right, Peter, thanks for being with us. Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Back to you, Donald.
And Clerk's got the great ground stroke, so we're going to see Gerlaitis at net a lot, and Clerk's going to be passing him a lot. It's going to be a good match.
And I'll be here with Donald Dell and Barry McKay. My name is Eddie Doucette, and we'll be right back for the start